Welcome to Tyler's Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Today is April the 23rd, 2025. We're going to be talking about NXT results. I got something in my eye. Whew. I drank some milk and I almost lost breath here. We got two returns that happened on NXT. We got a TNA star showing up, and we got a return from injury. So we got Oba Femi coming out, talking about his match at Stand and Deliver. He gave everybody their flowers, with Javon Evans and Trick Williams. He said he doesn't have any love for Trick Williams because he's annoying, and all that stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, and then here comes Trick Williams again. Say he wants a one-on-one match. He wants another match for the NXT Championship. How many times this guy needs a championship match? We've seen you lose multiple times. When you lost the title, you got a rematch, and then you got Stand and Deliver. Oh my God, how many times do I have to see you have a match? Can we stop seeing you have a match with a championship? I want to see somebody new getting a shot at the championship that is not Trick Williams. So, ladies and gentlemen, and then they got interrupted by the returning of the TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry came back to NXT. And he talked about, Trick Williams is not happy that Joe Hendry's back. But he did tell Trick Williams that you're acting like a whiny B-word. And he says, I wrestled at WrestleMania, 60,000 people while you're on the stands. And Trick Williams talked about the things that he believes in. He believes that Joe Hendry does not belong here. He doesn't need to be here and all that stuff. And he talked about that he got beat up at WrestleMania against Randy Orton. But Joe Hendry is not here to talk to Trick Williams. He wants to talk to the NXT champion. And Mr. Elba Femi told him, don't make the same mistake like Moose did. And Trick Williams got involved and got in the middle, and he tried to push those guys back, and then they did a double team onto Trick Williams, and they had to stare down at the end. And he did talk about his match at Rebellion. He did not set names who he's facing. It's just he says he is defending his title this weekend at Rebellion. So they're hyping up Rebellion as well. So even when JC Jane is having a match against Rosemary, they brought that up as well. So that's pretty cool for them. For TNA getting their thing being part of their show being getting mentioned on a different show. They showed GCW as well, the Bloodsport show, where we saw some NXT guys, and we saw some main roster people show up. I believe Natalya did not do Bloodsport, she did an NWA show. I think there's two different ones. So, yeah, that's pretty cool that you get to see WWE guys on different indie wrestling, because they're doing this ID. So technically, it is a WWE thing. It's just I didn't know you were going to see it on NXT from NXT stars and from main roster stars, but we've seen it multiple times. So that's pretty cool for the main roster and NXT stars. Charlie Dempsey and Tavion Heiss was at GCW Bloodsport. They had matches there, so that's pretty cool for them. I think Shayna Baszler was there, I think. I don't remember who else was in GCW. I know there was multiple people having a match. Mostly it's like it's like a submission thing. It's like underground. There's no ropes. It's like it's like an underground thing. But they call it Bloodsport. They don't call it underground. Next we got, looks like we're going to have a tag team title match next week, because the Pro Wrestling Noah guy, he talked about that this is going to be his last couple of days of being in NXT. He has to go back to Japan. And he guilt tricked Ava because he cried because he was crying because he wanted to get the tag team titles to Josh Briggs. And Ava says, you know what? How about next week you and Josh Briggs versus the new tag team champions, Hank and Tank, for the tag titles. And then when she walked off, he says that was part of the plan. So we're getting a tag team title match. So first match of the evening, we got the women's tag team titles on the line. We got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. I thought it was a pretty decent match. Their tag team division in the women's is getting good, being better. I like it. But the winner of that match was still your champions, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Hey, Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley did a really good job. They almost won those tag titles. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Lexus King was having problems with these Magic guys at Las Vegas in Stand and Deliver. They made his Heritage Cup disappear. Now he wants it back. But the guy said there's two conditions. One, you tell everybody that Magic is real. And number two, you defend the Heritage Cup. And he accepted it because he wants his Heritage Cup. I thought they were going to try to retire the cup that time, but they didn't. So they brought the cup back, and Ricky Steams was having a thing. He talked about his match at Stand and Deliver and all that stuff. Lexus King came out. And he says he said a whole bunch of words, and he issued a challenge to Ricky Steams and says, how about give me the shot I want. And he says, I will put my cup on the line. So it will be cup versus title for both titles. And Ricky says you should worry about your opponent tonight, not me. And his opponent was Noam Dar, the real great Heritage Cup champion. Noam Dar makes his return. And ladies and gentlemen, the winner of that match and your new Heritage Cup champion, Noam Dar. And we heard that next week, no cup on the line because he lost. But Lexus King will have his championship match against Ricky Steams for the North American title. Well, it looks like Thea Hale is going to have problems with Fatal Influence again. But JC Jane doesn't want to wrestle Thea Hale. Paula Haney says she will. Because Jason Jane couldn't handle Thea Hale. She couldn't get rid of her. So Paula Hanley thinks she could get rid of Thea Hale. Well, these two had a match. It was pretty decent. But the winner of that match was Thea Hale because of the accidents from JC Jane by kicking Paula Hanley by accident into the stairs. She had her arm. And Thea Hale did a hoverboard. The hammerlock. And she got the win. And it looks like we're going to have Chase U making his return. They're back, baby, but with two new guys. Not Duke Hudson or Riley Osborne or Thea Hale, but new guys. I thought they're not allowed doing that. I thought they're not allowed doing that. I don't know. Well, we had Dark State versus Miles Bourne and Javon Evans. Well, Miles Bourne was getting picked on by Dark State because Ren Sinclair and Miles Bourne was watching their teammates on Bloodsport, and he was all by himself. They don't know when Charlie Dempsey and Tavion Heights will come back. So Dark State was making fun of him, and then Javon Evans came up, and he says that he had some words to Dark State. He issued a challenge to Dark State. And Miles Bourne said he's not going to do this on his own. He's going to team up with him. It was a pretty decent tag team match with Dark State and Miles Bourne and Javon. And then Charlie Dempsey and Tavion Heights did come back. They were on top of the stage. But the winner of that match was Dark State getting the win. Well, nobody knows what happened to Luca. Luca went to this location that Stack says he will be at. And Luca wants to know what's going on because the Dawn and Stacks were they were friends, and the Dawn helped them out when they were kids and all that stuff. But Stacks says, "You see the place I brought you," and it looks like he knows what's happening. Luca knows what's happening. And then the Dawn told Rizzo that she should not come back home because he doesn't know how what Stacks would do to get his way. But next week they're going to competition each other next week. Our main event, it will be for the NXT Women's Championship. It will be Stephanie McCurr will be versing Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. It was a pretty decent match, but the winner of that match, and still your NXT Women's Champion, Stephanie McCurr. And then, ladies and gentlemen, after she won, her celebration cut short because Julia came out. She just stand on the stage and stared down Stephanie McCurr. And Jordan Grace was in the back, way back, watching this as well. I thought we were done with that because they all lost, so I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, all that happened. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I will see you guys tomorrow for AEW results. Let's see what they have for us. I can't wait to see SmackDown because we might be seeing House of Black. It has to be House of Black. I don't think it'll be Omos. Omos doesn't need a video package like that and not show his face. Because he works for WWE. This is supposed to be like a return. So I'm guessing we get more returns in the WWE. We already got JD, Rusev. Did we get another one on Raw? I think that's it. Isn't it? That's it from Raw. And NXT, we got Noam Dar. Joe Hendry showed up. He did return. He returned to NXT. And SmackDown, the only return I could think of is Aleister Black right now. But it could be more that we don't know about. Let's see. But I can't wait to watch SmackDown. But let's see what AEW has for us and what TNA has for us to watch. And we got Rebellion this weekend. I hope I get to watch it. Streaming it is really hard. I like to watch it on Netflix better than streaming on my TV. Because sometimes I don't get to watch the show. Because sometimes some people don't stream it. So I don't know what to do. But that's all for me today. That's all for me today. If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Time's out. Bye.